So last week what we did was identify the type of borrowers we have in the market, and then we went on to discuss about the credit facilities. Right? We have two types of facilities, mainly the consumption type and the commercial type. Whenever the end use of money is not generating, will not generate profits or income, it is a consumption facility. And then whenever the end use of money start generating income or profit, then it is a commercial facility. Then we went on to discuss about direct facilities and indirect facilities. Direct facilities Direct facilities are the facilities where once granted, money flows out of the bank's cash flow. Right? We grant the facility. As soon as we grant the facility, customer can take out the money if he wants. Right? Facilities like PODs, TODs, term loans, credit cards, pawning, leasing, all those things are direct facilities. Then indirect facilities, off-balance sheet facilities, contingent facilities. Those are the facilities where the bank undertake a responsibility on behalf of responsibility over liability on behalf of the customer. Okay, so there will not be any cash out from the bank unless until the customer, our customer, not the beneficiary, beneficiary is the third party, our customer defaulted his promise to a third party, like to perform a task, to pay, like that. So when he defaulted, the beneficiary, the third party, can claim that agreed amount of money from the bank. Then the indirect facility will become a direct facility. Bank guarantees, letter of credit, all those are indirect facilities. Okay. Then we discuss about asset-based financing and cash flow-based financing. When we are asset-based financing, we look at purely the asset. Then cash flow-based financing, we had two types of cash flow-based financing: short-term known cash flows and long-term projected cash flows. Check discounting facilities, invoice discounting, factoring, those things are short-term known cash flows. So that those kind of products are good for working capital facilities, but maybe smaller in value. Whereas the projected cash flow based lending, which is we project the cash flow for 10 years based on the feasibility of the cash flows and the project, we start lending. That is called project financing. Infrastructure or commercial project funded purely based on the cash flows of the project instead of the balance sheet of the sponsors. Those are called project financing, right? So that's what we discuss about different products like PODs, different types of PODs, permanent overdraft, TODs, temporary overdrafts, and casual overdraft. Then we went on to discuss what is a term loan. Then we discuss about channel financing, invoice discounting, and post-dated check financing, check purchasing, trust receipt loans. We discuss all those things. Right? Now we have 15 people joining. Shall we start? Today we will be discussing the trade finance part, right? Almost all of you may be following the trade finance part of DABF, aren't you? Right? So I will take you through right? I will take you through a little bit of trade finance products, right? So when we call trade finance, it is international trade and local trade both, right? International trade means transactions happen across borders, like Sri Lanka, India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Sri Lanka, UK, like internal trade is within the country, right? Both are similar in nature. These are the main products under trade finance. Import finance, right? These are the main products. We have import finance, then we have export finance, then bonds and guarantees. So we will discuss each of these products today. And under the trade finance, we have a like whether it is local or international, we have few things to sort it out. First thing is we need to find a supplier, whether it is international market or local market, same. The difference is the border, within the borders or cross borders, right? We need to find a supplier. We need the supplier's ability to supply the quality and quantity and the acceptable pricing and the acceptable delivery time. We need to find a supplier, whether it is local market or international market. The supplier should be able to provide the quality we want and the quantity we want. Then the supplier should be able to match the pricing and the delivery date, right? Okay, there will be a supplier, but if the price is not matching, no point having the supplier. If they can't meet our delivery deadline, no point talking to them, right? So whether it is international trade or local trade, we have to solve these three problems, right? Then when we come to trade relationships, we have three types of trade relationships. Three types. Firstly, we will have unaffiliated, unknown, no transaction has been done, no relationship. Unaffiliated but known. We have been dealing with this customer, the supplier, for a long time, but there is no relationship with the customer, but we have done deals. We know the patterns. Then affiliated companies, your subsidiaries in other countries like that, right? These are unaffiliated, unknown, unaffiliated, known, affiliated, right? These are the type of things. We have an exporter who wants to export. He will have one party. We don't know. This is the first time the buyer has come in, right? So we have not done any dealings with him. We don't have any relationship, and we don't know the payment patterns or the behavior of the buyer. So then the other type is we don't have a relationship, but we have done deals with this buyer. So though we don't have a ownership or relationship, we have done deals, so we know the payment patterns and the behavior of the buyer. Then affiliated, foreign subsidiary or affiliated to an exporter. There is a connection to the export. So in the first case, we need a contract. We need to have a contract, then we need to have a protection against non-payment. We send the goods, but we will not get money and our goods. So there has to be a protect, because the buyer, other side, this can be even local, buyer is not known to us and we have not dealt with this buyer. So then whenever we are doing a transaction, we should have a contract. Then we need to have a confirmation that once we give the goods, buyer will pay. I will get my money, right? Then unaffiliated known parties. There has to be a contract, buying and selling agreement or invoice or whatever, pro forma, purchase orders, like I'll come to those things later. Then maybe I have dealt with this supplier, so I don't want a full covered contract, but I need some sort of a protection against non-payment. Some sort. Here under the first line, we need a confirmed payment protection. The second one, we are a little relaxed. We need some sort of a payment protection. Then the third one, we don't need a contract because so we don't want any contract. We don't want any payment protection as well, right? So in the trade, you have heard about the LCs. Then this part, we need LCs. For this kind of relationships, we can go on document recollection, DADP. For this one, we can go on open account. These are the three types of transactions we have. So these, like for this one, I don't think we need a LC. We never ask for LCs. But for these people, going on an open account is a very, very risky thing. Right? So we will look at what are LCs and DADP bills. This is what the importer and the exporter wants. Right? Always importer prefer to get the goods before payment, whereas the exporter prefer to get the money before exporting, because we are running into a credit risk. Will I get my money back? Will I get my money? That is the dilemma. Importer thinks, okay, I will send my money and will I get my goods, or at least a return on my money? Exporter thinks, when I send the goods, will I get my money? So that is the credit risk, right? So that all this credit risk comes because we can't trust a stranger. So when a bank comes in between, this dilemma of not able to trust the other party will be solved. So we'll see what is the LC. Under the LCs, we have two things: usance draft and the bill of lading. Navata badu baragatta කියන එක තමයි bill of lading, the document which need when the goods are given to the ship and ship has started sailing, right? Usance draft is agreement to pay in the future. What is the document you have if the goods are coming on air by plane? Bill of lading is for ship. What is the document we use when goods are shipped through air?
Airway bill?
Yes, airway bill, right? That is correct. Then we go to this one. So what we say, unwillingness to trust the bank comes in, right? Then we go to the letter of credit to solve this. Letter of credit is a conditional agreement to pay, right? We have an importer, we have a bank and an exporter. Importer, bank and exporter. Importer comes to the bank and get a promise from the bank to pay the exporter on behalf of the importer, right? Importer applies to the bank to get this benefit. So then once it is granted, bank promise the exporter, okay, you send the goods and send me the documents, I will pay. The bank says to the exporter. Then the exporter will ship the goods to the bank, consign to the bank. Exporter is not sending to the importer. Exporter is sending the goods to the bank. That means we are consigned, we have the ownership. Then once the goods received, bank pays the exporter. Then banks release the goods to the importer. Bank release the goods to the importer and importer needs to pay. In this whole process, banks will deal only with the documents. They will not deal with the goods. Whatever the goods, like you want to import basmati rice, documents comes as basmati, but the container full of cow dung. But still the bank has to pay. We are not dealing with the goods. We are dealing with documents. If the documents are in order, we pay. Right? I'll little more explain this one. Right? You can see the board. We have India. We have Sri Lanka. Right? This is our border. Okay. We have Mr. Pereira here. Here. We have Mr. Saravarna Muthu in New Delhi. Right? Colombo. We have Bank of Ceylon here. State Bank of India SBI is here. Right? So Mr. Pereira wants to import 100,000 kilograms of basmati at a price of 150 rupees, 150 per kilogram. Right? This is what his requirement is. Okay. So first type of customers are unaffiliated, unknown. Right? So Mr. Pereira searched the web or contact through a trade chamber. He finds Sarvana Muthu who supplies basmati. Right? So what they write to each other, and he will send Mr. Pereira performer invoice. Right? He will send Mr. Pereira performer invoice saying I can supply 100 kilos at a price of 150 per kilo, type basmati, and the quality grade A, right? So this is my pro forma invoice, right? So we have this. These two people does not know each other. Therefore, Mr. Pereira and the Saravanamuttu want some contract. First one is contract, right? So he sends a pro forma. He will send back a purchase order, right? Agreement to buy, right? Now, since they don't know, they need to have some sort of a payment agreement, right? Payment agreement. So what happens? A reputed bank comes in. BOC will confirm the payment on behalf of Mr. Pereira. Mr. Pereira will come to BOC and ask for a payment confirmation for server account, right? BOC will evaluate Mr. Pereira and agree to grant a payment confirmation, conditional payment confirmation, right? Remember this, conditional, can't see that. The conditional payment confirmation. Payment confirmation subject to some conditions, right? It's not purely a payment confirmation. It is a conditional payment confirmation, right? He agrees and send it to State Bank of India, saying that there is one person, Mr. Saravanamuttu in New Delhi. Tell him that Mr. Pereira wants to buy these items as per his pro forma invoice, right? He needs to ship the goods, date of completion, before some date, and provide these quality certificates, origination certificate, commercial invoice and bill of lading BL. Then bank undertakes to pay, not Mr. Pereira, banks undertake to pay. So our correspondent bank will inform Sarvanamuttu saying that there is a transmission from Bank of Ceylon, Colombo on behalf of Mr. Pereira. If you ship as per your pro forma invoice, these items with this quality before this date, you will be paid by the bank. You ship and give us the documents, you will be paid, right? So there is a contract, purchase order, and the pro forma invoice. There is a payment guarantee to Sarvanamuttu saying that if you ship and provide the documents given below, you will be paid, right? So you will be paid. Currency we will know, the amount of money we will know, due date we will know, right? So he has a payment confirmation. He can use that to get facilities from BOC because he does not have money to do the order. Then they need pre-export facilities. We will discuss those, right? So once he ship the goods, goods will come here, customs, right? Documents will flow on this part. Right? Documents. Goods consigned to Bank of Ceylon will be sent to the Mr. Pereira. Right? When the goods come, documents comes here, the bank will go through the documents with the LC application. Right? We have the exporter, we have importer, sorry, bank, other side. We have bank, right? Exporter. Okay. Bank and the importer, it is the agreement of LC application relationship. This is contract or invoice or purchase order. This two, which is the letter of credit, right? Through the letter of credit, this connection happens like this, right? So now the goods has come here, documents has come to the bank. Bank will check the documents based on this application. And if the documents are in order, bank will send the money. Right? If the documents are in order, bank will not ask him, bank will send the money. Right? If there is any discrepancy, if there is any change or any error between the LC application and the documents we received, instead of 100,000, he has said 95,000. Instead of grade A, he has said B plus. Now there is a difference between the LC application and the actual documents we received. We go to, based on this, we go to the importer and ask, we received the documents, but there is a discrepancy between your application and the documents we received. Are you okay to accept? If he says okay, bank will send money. Right? If he says okay, we accept the discrepancies, bank will send money. If he says no, bank will say to them, tell us that there is a discrepancy, buyer is not accepting the documents. You need to correct it. You need to negotiate among yourself. We can't pay. Right? In this side. Now, we send the cash out. Then we give the documents to Mr. Pereira. After he pays the bank or after granting a facility, like we call those kind of facilities post import facilities, right? අපිට මේ සල්ලි ටික යවන්න එක්කෝ අපි සල්ලි යවනවා යවුවේ ගමන් Mr. Pereira has to pay unconditionally. He has to pay. I remit, we say 1.5 million rupees. Then I turn to Mr. Pereira and say, I have sent the money, now you pay and take the documents out. Right? Without giving money, I will not give the documents to Mr. Pereira. As long as he does not get the document, he can't clear the goods. Goods will remain at the customs, our border. If he wants to get the documents, he has to pay the bank. First pay is he pays cash, or bank has given a facility for Mr. Pereira to use. Post-import finance facility. We say, okay, take the goods, pay us after 3 months, pay us after 4 months, something like that. Then we give the documents to Mr. Pereira. With those documents, where the ownership has been given to Mr. Pereira, like earlier the ownership came to the Bank of Ceylon. Now after collecting the goods, we cancel our ownership and give the documents to Mr. Pereira. So Mr. Pereira can go to the customs and take the goods out and sell the products. When he goes to customs and see that goods are something else, not basmati or not this quality, he can't come back to the bank. Bank is not responsible on the goods we get. Bank is responsible only on the document. Perfect documentation. Badu tika එහෙන් ship කළා. Certificate එකක් තියෙනවා quality A grade basmati. Invoice එකක් තියෙනවා 100,000 kilos. That's all. We are responsible. We deal, the bankers, we deal on documents, not on goods. Right? So this is the entire process of LCs. Right? This kind of LCs, as soon as the documents are in order, we pay. Those kind of LCs are called LCs type decide. What do you call those kind of LCs? LCs at site. Right? Then we have usance LCs. That means Sarvanamuttu sends the goods and Sarvanamuttu says to the bank, okay, give the goods to the customer and pay me after 30 days. He is giving a credit. Right? He is giving a credit. So how it happens is, bank will release the goods, but bank has the liability. If the documents are in order only, bank will release the goods. Right? Banks release the goods, but bank has the liability to pay on the due date. Right? Bank can't say, I gave the documents, I gave the goods, customer is not paying me, so I am not in a position to pay you. No. Banks take the responsibility of paying under letter of credit. So after a period, bank will pay Sarvanam. So what happens is, when you have a usance, there is a credit period given. Bank say, okay, these documents are in order. You sign the bill of exchange, right? Usance draft or bill of exchange. So Mr. Pereira signs the bill of exchange and agree to pay in a future date. Then the bank sends it to SBI. On the due date, SBI will send it to the bank without any question. Right? Without any question, bank will pay. So LCs are two types. At site LCs, as soon as documents are in order, we pay. When there is a credit period given, then it is the credit period is negotiated at the invoice stage. Right? Then Bank of Ceylon will get the bill of exchange signed from Mr. Pereira. On the due date, Bank of Ceylon will pay. Right. Is this clear? You want me anywhere you couldn't understand, or you know it very well? Is there anyone who want me to repeat this? This is the entire LC, letter of credit. Banks deals with the document. Please explain usance and site. Okay, I'll do it. Anyone else? All others understood? Okay. Right? What happened? What I said initially was we have the bank, we have the importer, and we have the exporter. Right? Importer contact exporter to find out whether he is selling basmati. He wants to import basmati. Now, importer Mr. Pereira comes to Bank of Ceylon and say, I want to import basmati from Sarvanamuttu in New Delhi. This is the pro forma invoice he has sent. Tell him, please grant me a letter of credit confirming that he shipped the goods and give these documents. Goods should be on as per the pro forma invoice. Then the bank will pay. So the Bank of Ceylon will, through our correspondent bank, inform Sarvanamuttu, you ship these goods as per this document. Then, if the documents are in order, we will pay. Right? Sarvanamuttu ships and Sarvanamuttu sends the document. This is the document line to Bank of Ceylon. Bank of Ceylon checks. And if the documents are in order as per the LC application, Bank of Ceylon will pay the exporter, Sarvanamuttu. Right? If the documents are not in order, there is some differences between the application and the documents we received. Then we go back to Mr. Pereira and ask, there is a difference. Are you okay for this difference? If he says yes, we will send money. So as soon as we see the document, we send money. At site, we said pay money. Right? That is called LC site. Documents aave gamma documents tika hari nang api gewano. Eka LC site. Then through this same way we expect like Mr. Pereira and Sarvanamuttu while negotiating before opening the LC, Sarvanamuttu gives Mr. Pereira 60 days credit. Right? Mr. Pereira writes to Sarvanamuttu and saying, I want to buy this, but I want a credit period. Sarvanamuttu agrees to give a credit period of 60 days. But right? So what? So same way LC will go there. Documents will come. Under the documents payment terms, this says send me the payment after 30 days, 60 days. Release the goods, but send me the payment after 60 days. That is the agreement. Right? Bank says, Mr. Pereira, you take the documents, go ahead with the release of goods. You have 60 days given by the exporter. Right? In order to get the agreement to pay, we get signature for usance draft or bill of exchange. Right? On the 60th day, without waiting for Mr. Pereira, we send the money. Right? Bank is taking the responsibility under letter of credit, usance. We are giving the credit period, and bank is taking the responsibility to pay on the due date. Mr. Pereira ආපහු පැත්ත පළාත බැංකුවේ බැලුවේ නැති වුණත් අපිට සල්ලි යවන්න වෙනවා. Bank has the responsibility to pay. So site means as soon as documents seen and corrected, we send the payment. Usance means there is a credit period. After a delay, after some time, bank will pay. But bank has the liability to pay. Bank එකට කියන්න බෑ මිස්ටර් පෙරේරා පහු ආවෙත් නැහැ ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් ගෙනිච්චෙත් නැහැ ගුඩ්ස් ගත්තෙත් නැහැ මොකුත් නැහැ. ඒව හරියන්නේ නැහැ. බැංකුව ගෙවන්න. That is usance. Is it clear now? Okay. Right? So that is usance LCs. This is site LCs. We have pro forma invoice. When the documents are coming, we call it a commercial invoice. The order which goes to Saravana Bhavan is called purchase order. Right? It is a confirmation on purchase. So when we have a LC, Saravana Bhavan can come to his bank, we say State Bank of India, and show that I have a order, confirm order to sell. So I want some money to do the order. So financing can be arranged. Right? There are advantages for importer as well as to the exporter. Right? These are this system has been the risk of non-completion, foreign exchange risk, we contract for some sort of foreign exchange, means of financing, අපිට LC එක අරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා දීලා සල්ලි ගන්න පුළුවන්. This is what I explained to you. Bank, applicant and the beneficiary, the exporter. Relationship, this and that. Right? Under LC, it is a letter of credit is a bank conditional promise to pay issued by a bank at the request of the importer, in which the bank promised to pay an exporter upon presentation of document. These are the documents and conditions we have. Right? Some promise of payment issued by a importer's bank binds the importer's bank to pay currency of payment, timing of payment, and amount of payment. Like we say, okay, you send the document, we will send you 100,000 USD or no before this date, due date, right? Bind the exporter to deliver quantity, quality, and delivery date. Therefore, the importer can relax knowing that exporter has to send me the correct good because we ask for certification. Quantity, we have asked. Kilo ලක්ෂයක් කිල්ලුවාම 50000ක් කියවලා ලක්ෂය කියලා ඩොකියුමන්ට් ආවයි කියලා කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. but එහෙම එවන්න තියෙන chance එක අඩුයි. And we don't have to wait forever. This LC is for specific period, right? So these are the advantages for the importer and the exporter. Advantages for the exporter: reduce credit risk. Like whether I send the goods, then I have to wait and see whether I will get the money. No, there is a bank, reputed bank, confirming that payment will come. Right? Reduce the political risk. Banking system is in the political system, within the political system. Bank has agreed to pay. Today or tomorrow bank will pay. But if the bank payment will not come only if the bank collapse. Right? See, at the moment what has happened to Sri Lanka? What we did 2 months ago, 1 month ago, right? We told all the outside LCs will be paid after 6 months only. It's a political decision. Bank is within the political system. So bank can't say, no, we have to pay. No. Whatever the law, country's law is the supreme. So the government has said, no, nothing, no imports will be paid today. You have to wait for 6 months. But the exporter, though he is not getting the money today, but bank has confirmed that I will pay you. After 6 months, this bank is liable to pay. Bank is liable to pay. So reduce the political risk. Reduce the pre-shipment risk. There is a contract, confirmed contract. If the exporter ship the goods and provide the documents, I will get the payment. Else what will happen? I get the order, I prepare everything, I try to ship, then the buyer is not there anymore. දැන් මේ LC එක ඇරියට පස්සේ ඒ අතරතුර බයව බැංක්‍රප්ට් වුණොත් බැංකුවට ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් ආවොත් බැංකුව ගෙවන්න ඕන. Bank needs to pay, right? Reduce the delivery risk. LC will stipulate the delivery terms, quantity, quality, delivery period, packing, everything it will do. So බඩු ආවොත් තමයි අපි සල්ලි ගෙවන්නේ. Since this credit risk has been eliminated to some great extent, importer can negotiate better price with the exporter. Exporter has a financing method, exporter has a permanent confirmation, exporter has a pre-delivery risk elimination. Therefore, you can say, okay, I'm giving you a LC, but you need to give me better pricing, right? Right. Then we go to shipping guarantee. Okay. Shipping guarantee. I told you that goods are consigned to Bank of Ceylon and documents comes this way, bank to bank. There's another set of documents which comes in the ship. Right? This set of documents, there is another set of documents which comes through the shipper, shipping agent. We call those documents copy documents, right? Originals has not come. So Bank of Ceylon can cancel the ownership and tell the shipper, issue the a direction to the customs. Based on this copy documents, you release the goods, right? That kind of a guarantee is called shipping guarantee. The risk behind this is we have not seen the original document. I'm acting on a document sent through a third party. When the original documents comes in, if the two sets are different, we can't do anything. Money has gone out, right? We say this copy document says users. Original says site. Right? I have given out my right for the goods. I don't have any hold. Still, I need to pay. Okay. Users, I think I don't need to pay, but it comes as pay. So I will have to pay now. This says A grade. This says B plus grade. Now there is a difference between these two. I don't have a hold. Customer has taken out the goods now. Right? So shipping guarantee is giving a guarantee to the customs you release, we will take care of the payments. Right? I am giving away my ownership, consignment ownership, shipping guarantee. Okay? Is it okay? Clear for everyone? Is it clear? I'm done with LCs. Shipping guarantee, right? Documents normally route, like the original set of document, route through bank to bank. But there is another set of documents which comes through the shipping agent. Right? We call that copy documents. අර විදිහටම ඔක්කොම documents එනවා, but it is a copy only. Right? The ownership of the goods lies with this document set. Bank to bank documents has not come, but through the shipping agents, documents has come into the country. Right? Now, Mr. Pereira comes and says, documents has come, there is a delay, I want to take out the goods. Bank can get rid of the ownership, give away the ownership. The documents we use is called shipping guarantee. We tell customs, I'm fine, please give the goods to Mr. Pereira. Based on the copy documents, not the original documents. If there is a problem, I will have to sort it out. Right? So customer, Mr. Pereira, will take out the goods and go. But Bank of Ceylon has the liability to pay Mr. Sarvanamuttu once the original documents reach the bank. Original documents reach and there are so many discrepancies as per the LC application. Mr. Pereira will come and say, I can't take the discrepancies. Right? But he has taken out the goods. Bank will have to pay with or without the discrepancies. We have agreed for that. Like original document says users, sorry, copy document says users, original comes as site. I have given the goods, I have taken a bill of exchange. But as soon as this comes in, I need to pay. Then again, I am at a risk. Right? So the documents we use to give the ownership to the customer before getting the original documents is called shipping guarantee. Any specific details in the shipping guarantee value? Yeah, shipping guarantee, it is like they can claim up to 3 times. If it is a 100,000 shipment, 100,000 rupee shipment, they can claim up to 3,000. That's why we hold 300% for shipping guarantee. Normally, shipping guarantees are issued with security. Nikamma denne naha. Right? So 300. They have the option of claiming up to 300%. Right? 3 times. It depends. Mono hari upset එකක් වුණොත් claim කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So that is LC. Hope everything is okay. Right? So this is the LCs. Then we'll go to documentary credit, DA, DP type, which is the second part. This one, right? We have a contract, possibly some protection, right? I cleared this one. I'll come to this. I forgot to tell you that. I'll tell you. Right? Here, like a similar way, there is no contract, all those things. Right. So similar way, now these two has been dealing with long time. He knows the way Mr. Pereira pays. We need the pro forma invoice. We need the purchase order, PO. When the purchase order goes, Sarvanamuttu ships the goods. It comes to the customs. And the ownership documents were sent through the bank to bank. Right? Documents are sent through the bank. Right? All documents like the invoice, the bill of lading, and those things are sent through the bank. So documents come to BOC, DP, DA. What BOC will call, sorry, wait. Right? You have Bank of Ceylon, Pereira. Mr. Pereira will send the purchase order, PO, for a pro forma invoice. Right? Then goods will come here. But a set of documents, the documents carrying the ownership will route through bank to bank. Right? This is the documents. This one. Right? This one. One set says, okay, you take the payment and release the document. Instruction given through by Saranamuttu through State Bank of India to Bank of Ceylon. This is the document. This is a document set which needs to be given to Mr. Pereira because I have sent him basmati rice on this ship. But please release only after collecting a pay. Right? Who will pay? Right? I will release the you need to release the documents only after getting the payment. Right? I have sent the goods. This is the ownership documents. Please release only after collecting the payment. Right? Then it is called DP, documents on payment. Right? So I will contact Mr. Pereira and say, there is a set of documents for you. You have to pay this amount and collect the documents. If Mr. Pereira pays me, I will give the documents. He can go and collect and he can do whatever he wants. But he does not come to collect the document. He is not willing to pay. Then I will tell Saravanamuthu through State Bank of India, this person is not paying, I can't do anything. I will return the documents. There is no liability for the bank to pay. Bank is acting like a post office, post box. I get the documents, hand it over. If it says you collect the money and hand over, I will ask for the money. If he pays, I collect the money, hand over the documents and send it back. If he does not pay, I will not release the documents. Documents will be here. Goods will be here. So, since I don't receive the money, I send the documents back. Customer can take the goods back. Right? There's some sort of a confidence on the for the exporter that my money will come. Right? Now, Saravanamuthu gives a credit period to Mr. Pereira. Right? Saravanamuthu gives a credit period for Mr. Pereira. Okay. But we say, Mr. Pereira, there is a set of documents on the goods which has received. You sign the bill of exchange, agreement to pay in a future date and take out the goods. We say it is 60 days, 60th day, 59th day. We remind Mr. Pereira, you have to pay tomorrow. We have to pay tomorrow. So 60th day again we remind Mr. Pereira to pay. If Mr. Pereira pays, we will send the money. If he does not pay after reminders, we will tell Saravanamuthu, very sorry, we can't do anything. He is not paying. There is no relation, there is no commitment from the bank to pay. Under letter of credit, bank is committed. Bank can't say anything. Bank has to pay if the documents are in order. Under documentary collection, there is no liability on the bank side. If the customer pays, we will send. If the customer does not pay, bank will not send. Right? That is the documentary credit, DADP. Documents on payment, documents on acceptance. Right? Is that clear? Beneficiary of shipping guarantee is the customs. We allow the custom to pay. Custom to release, sorry. Right? So DP and DA is that. Is it clear? DADP? DA not clear. Like I said, site and users. Saravana Muttu gives a credit period to Mr. Pereira. Right? If it is under LCs, we give him a time period to pay. Documents comes here. After 60 days, bank has to pay. It is liable. Bank is liable. Custom duty guarantee, right? We bring down we bring down goods to re-export. We bring the goods, do some value addition and re-export, right? Whenever we bring goods into the country, there has to have a custom duty. If no custom duty, that's fine, else we have custom duty. So when we are bringing in goods for re-export, custom does not charge duty, but bank has to give a guarantee saying that whatever came into the country will go back, else there will be a custom duty. Bank will take the responsibility of paying the custom duty. That responsibility is called custom duty guarantee. We confirm to customs saying that please release the documents, goods for my customer. He will do the value addition and export. If he does not export or he fails to export, bank take the responsibility of paying the duty, right? That is called custom duty. Then trust receipt loan. So the goods came in, customer can pay cash and take out money, pay cash and take the goods, or customer does not have money to pay. So we have to give a facility, because anyway we have to pay the exporter in the other country. So now I have to give the goods to the customer, my customer. He has to sell. There is a time lag for selling, and he has to collect the debtors and pay the bank. So for that, we need to give a facility. That kind of facilities are called post-import facilities, PIF, post-import financing, right? But tika geenawa, but tika release kar ganna salli naha. Api bankuwa salli tika yawala client gen masa dekakata 3-4 4 passe collect kar ganna. So this facility is called post-import finance. One of the types are called trust receipt loans, TR loans. Goods are owned by the bank. Goods given to the customer on the trust to sell and settle. If he does not settle, it's a breach of trust. In Sri Lanka, breach of trust is a criminal offense. Breach of trust is a criminal offense. But unfortunately, the banks are not doing these trust receipt loans now, mainly because of the large amount of documentations we have. Otherwise, it is a very good one because it is a criminal offense. So straight away you can send him to jail, right? So it is a one sort of a post-import finance facility called trust receipt loan, where the goods are consigned to the bank, the ownership is with the bank, and we give it to the customer. to sell and pay. If he does not pay, it is a breach of trust. So it is a criminal offense governed by Trust Receipt Ordinance 12 of 1947 and Act number 3 of 1990. Right. Is the import finance part clear? No, it is normally for imports, because when we are doing it for local purchases, that is called pledge. Pledge and hypothecation. Hypothecation is not a criminal offense, though it is a trust. This one is pure trust. Right? Okay. Is the import part clear? Any more explanation on imports? Right. Then I go to the export part. It is the other side of the imports. Right now, instead of Sarvanamuttu, Mr. Pereira is exporting. Sarvanamuttu sends a purchase order. Mr. Pereira needs to do the order, prepare the order, and send. So before sending the goods, it is called pre-export. After sending the goods is called post-export. Mr. Pereira will get a order, purchase order. Now Mr. Pereira needs money. For that, banks will give facilities called pre-shipment facilities, commonly known as PCL, packing credit lines. Right? You need to have a confirmed purchase order. Based on that, we give money to purchase, do the value addition, and ship. Mainly the direct cost part we finance. Right? Under purchase order finance or pre-shipment finance, we give money to do any export order, mainly the direct cost. Right? Once the goods are given out, goods are prepared and sent to export customer. Like when we ship the goods, then now the goods has gone out of our border. Then it is post-shipment financing. It will take 60 days to reach the goods and payment will come after 60 days. Right? So that period, we can't wait. Business has to run. Administration overheads need to settle. Monthly interest has to be paid. So the exporter needs money. So we give him money again. So that part is called post-export finance or e-bill purchasing. Right? I'll explain that. Purchase PO or PCL. We have $100,000 order. Direct cost is only 60,000. Under PCL, we may give 60,000. Right? Once the goods are shipped, your administration cost of we say 30,000. GP, overheads, net profit is 10,000 on this order. Right? Good shit. So we do a e-bill discounting. Right? We give 90,000. Out of 90,000, we settle 60,000 and we give 30,000 to the customer. Right? We will not give the profit component at any given time. Initially, when the purchase order comes, we check the direct cost and give the direct cost for the customer to prepare the order. Right? Then, once the order is done and shipped, we get the export invoice, and based on that, we will give more money, which is the overhead cost now. Right? 90,000, 10,000 is your profit. We will not give the profit. So once we discount and give 90,000, we reduce 60,000 being the earlier payment, and the balance 30,000 goes to the customer, who is other overhead expenses. So that is called e-bill discounting, right? Because there may be a gap, shipment date and export receive date, shipping time, right? Gap එකක් තියෙනවා payment එක එන්න කාලයක් යනවා. ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත මේක ගෙවන්න. Last week someone asked me, is it the factoring and forfeiting? Is it the same? Someone asked me. Forfeiting is this, discounting the export invoices, providing money, right? Usance comes in LCs, right? Deferred payment and negotiation, LC can be negotiated. Like it is an instrument where we used to give money, like PCL. I told you, when you have LC, you can have a discounting part, right? We can have, like, you have the LC open. When I receive the LC, I can go to my bank and say, I don't have money, please give me money, because LC is directly to the bank, right? Usance is confirm credit is given by the customer and money will not come. Credit is given by the exporter himself, so he knows that money will not come for this day. So usance, negotiation, when you have that kind of a thing, you can go and negotiate. There are banks where you can negotiate the LC and get money, right? Right. Export is exporter. We have pre-export. This is PCL. Post-export, we have e-bill discounting, and forfeiting is also the same. Then we have bank guarantees, right? We have bank guarantees. We have first type of guarantees, tender bonds. You know what is a tender is, right? Like I want to build a road from Colombo to Jaffna. UDA has asked interested parties to say what is the amount and time and all those things, right? I'm asking the investors who is willing to do the construction work for road from Colombo to Jaffna. 4 lanes, 30 meters width, height of the road or the tar component has to be at least 2 feet, right? Carpeted road. So there will be 100 construction companies who are interested on participating for this project. So they have to send their quotations. So UDA has to have a technical team and to evaluate each and every one. Once evaluated, they will select one person and we say ABC company selected. UDA will, okay, we have selected you, come and do the work, come and negotiate with us, right? When we inform, he is not interested of taking. Then UDA will have to redo everything and go for the second one. So there is a cost and time, money. So UDA wants a bank to confirm, okay, my customer, if selected, will take over the job. If not, I will pay 1 to 3%, normally this 1% of the tender value as a compensation. With all the tenders, we need to have a tender bond. If the customer does not accept the tender after the selection, bank needs to say, I will pay a compensation, right? Second type is advance payment guarantee. Once the tender is selected, once the contractor is selected, to start the work, UDA needs to pay an advance. Advance and then advance. So there has to be a bank who agrees to give a guarantee saying customer will do work at least for this advance amount. Normally it is 15 to 20% of the tender value, right? My customer will do work at least to this amount granted. I'm guaranteeing the amount granted. If he does not pay, we will return this advance, right? Then third type is performance bond. I told you it has to be a 4-lane road, 30 meters, 280 kilometers. I can't remember the kilometers, right? Thickness of the tar layer, 2 feet, right? So UDA wants a bank to say, my customer will perform as per your specification. If not, I will compensate you with 10% of the tender value, right? my customer will perform as per the UDA specification. If not, bank will compensate. Those kind of bonds are called performance bonds. Right? Then we have retention guarantee. Right? When we finish a work, we say this is a 1,000 million job. I have finished 100 million work. Okay. So when I send the AB company send the invoice to UDA, they will hold 5% of this 100 million for a year's period, 1 year period. Right? That means when you finish everything, out of 1,000, 5% will be held for 1 year. This is for workmanship defects. Right? This 5% will be kept with UDA without paying to compensate any workmanship. පාර ටික දවසකින් ගැලවිලා ගියොත්. මේ කියන්නේ කියන විදිහට කළා කියලා. Right? This says, as per your specification, they will perform. They come and measure 2 feet right, 30 meters right, all those things are right. But after handing over, if something happens, then there has to be some sort of compensation for the UDA. That therefore we are holding 5% from each payment. That means from the final payment, 5%. UDA will hold for 1 year. If the customer wants that money, bank should guarantee if some issues rise, we will pay you the retention amount. Right? Retention amount. That is called retention guarantee. Then we have something called maintenance guarantee. Right? These performance bonds are converted to maintenance guarantee. That means once the road is done, if the Mr. ABC company needs to maintain it for a period, bank needs to give a guarantee saying that my customer will maintain as per the agreement for 1 year. If they don't maintain, we will grant you a compensation of 10% or whatever the amount. Right? Will maintain. This one we say if the tender is awarded, he will accept. Give the advance payment. If the customer does not perform, we guarantee this advance payment amount. My customer will do the construction as per your specification. Then, if not, I will compensate you. Retention, please release the money you kept for workmanship. If there is a problem, I will compensate up to 5%. Maintenance, my customer will maintain the road. If not, we will compensate you 10%. Right? All these things are my customer will do. If not, I will pay. I'm taking a responsibility on behalf of the customer, third party. So these are contingent liabilities, off balance sheet items. Is that clear? Any explanation you want on this? Tender bonds, bid bonds, tender bonds is the same. Advance payment guarantees. performance bonds, retention guarantees, and maintenance guarantees. No questions, so I'm going to the next topic. Asset-based financing is leasing. We have two types of leasing. Here we look at the product, right? What is the vehicle we are leasing? What is the equipment we are leasing? It is the ability to use without owning the asset, without ownership. Leasing is used without ownership. There are two types of leases: financial leases and operational leases. Financial leases, like definition of lease is this: a contract between lessor and lessee. Lessor is the bank, lessee is the customer, for hire of a specific asset selected from the manufacturer or vendor of such an asset by the lessee. This is the definition for financial lease. Lessee has selected the vehicle. Lessor has paid and purchased the vehicle or the asset. Lessee will be using it. Since he is using, he has to pay a monthly commitment for a specific period of time. When he is complete pay in the specific period of time, ownership will be transferred to the lessee at a very nominal fee. Right? Lessee can't cancel the lease in between. We say, I want a car. I go to a car dealer and select a vehicle and come to Bank of Ceylon and say, okay, I want this vehicle. Bank of Ceylon will buy the vehicle on behalf of me. Absolute ownership is with the Bank of Ceylon. Actual owner is Bank of Ceylon. It is given to me for the use. For this use, which I have selected, the asset has been selected by me. I am paying a monthly commitment for 48 months. After 6 months, I can't go back to Bank of Ceylon and say I don't want the vehicle, because I have committed. Bank purchased the vehicle on behalf of me. I'm the one who selected. Right? So financial leases can't be cancelled by the lessee. When you pay the entire 48 months, lessee has paid the amount of money invested by the lessor to purchase the vehicle and the profit to the lessor. So this kind of financial leases are called fully amortized lease. All the capital outlay and the income has been paid to lessor. Right? So, handout says those things. Do not provide maintenance. Financial leases, lessor does not maintain. It is only vehicle given. Registered owner needs to maintain the vehicle. Operating, on the other hand, operating leases, Bank of Ceylon will purchase vehicles and give it on rent. Like it is like a rent. When like I want a vehicle, I go to Bank of Ceylon and say I want a vehicle. They have some vehicles, so I get one. As long as I want, I will use it. But the day I think that I don't want this vehicle, I can go and return. Because I don't have any ownership. Bank of Ceylon did not purchase it on behalf of me. Right? Bank of Ceylon is the sole owner. It is like renting. Bank of Ceylon has to maintain the vehicle. I'm not bothered about the service or the insurance or all those things. Bank of Ceylon needs to maintain. I'm only using. For that usage, I'm paying. End of the period, Bank of Ceylon may not receive the entire amount of money they invested. It does not mean to collect everything within a short period, right? It is meant for re-renting. Those are operational leases. Two types of leases: financial leases and operating leases. Financial leases, customer select the vehicle and customer need to do the maintenance. Customer can't cancel the lease. But whereas operation lease, customer does not select, or vehicle is not purchased purely for the single customer. Customer just use it. Maintenance and upkeeping has to be done by the lessor. Customer is only paying a rental to use. He can cancel the lease at any time. Then we have something called hire purchase. These days we don't have, because earlier we had VAT for no VAT for the registered vehicles, right? Hire purchase was not subject to VAT. Here also, like we allow the customer to use. For that, they have to pay a monthly rental, and this is also fully amortized, entire amount, and the interest has to be paid by the end of the period. The difference between lease and the hire purchase is, once the customer pays 75% of the rentals, he will become the absolute owner. It will change, lease position will change to mortgage position. We can't seize the vehicle. You have to go on mortgage bond action or DR action or something like that. Hire purchase and leases. The difference is, no VAT for hire purchase rentals. Leases, we have VAT. When the hire purchase pays 75% of the rental, ownership transferred to the lessee. Then it has to be a mortgage. It is like a mortgage, right? These are hire purchase. Then loan syndicate. Syndicate loans are like, we say, Durdens. They want a 5 billion loan to do a heart surgical unit. One single bank will not take that kind of a big loan. So what happens here is, several banks come together to finance Durdens. Like we say, Bank of Ceylon, say, like initial request came to Bank of Ceylon. Now, Bank of Ceylon will evaluate the project and say, okay, this is the project, this is the profitability. They will contact all other banks. Do you like to participate? Out of 5 billion, I am giving 1 billion. Commercial bank will go through the proposal and say, okay, we will give 500 million. Bank of Ceylon say, I will give 1 billion. NDB will say, I will give 3 million. Sampath will say, I will give 400 million. And like that, several banks will come together to finance the project. So the bank who is arranging the facility is called lead bank or the arranger, right? Arranger, lead manager. They are responsible to get the banks together and give the money to customer. Customer will come into a loan syndicate agreement with all the banks, right? But all the banks are not going behind the customer to collect money. The arranger or the lead manager will always collect money. Repayments will be collected by the lead bank. Then, based on the contribution by different banks, this money will be distributed. right? You have done. We have a lead bank. We have other banks here, right? Money will be given like this. All banks will give the money. But when it comes to collection, collection will come here. This bank will pay the others. If 10 million monthly, based on amount 1 million, 0.5, 0.3, 0.1, like that, this will be divided accordingly. Right? So it is the lead bank's responsibility to negotiate the deal, get the money, do the collection, pay everyone. If the customer goes bad, lead bank will be taking over the security, selling it, and settling them. Based on the exposure only, they will be settled. 5 billion වලින් 1 million නම් මෙතන ආවේ මෙයාට 1 million තමයි හම්බෙන්නේ. Right? Pro rata basis, it will be paid. So loan syndication is several banks coming together to finance one project. Individually, these banks are not going behind them. He is the only dealing person with the customer. There will be only one offer letter. All the banks and the dealer, customer will sign. Right? That is a loan syndication. Then project lending, I discussed you last week or prior. Future cash flow based lending, right? Projected cash flow based lending, that is called project lending. I discussed it. Then we come to microfinance. Microcredit and microfinance are two things. Microcredit is giving funding to a grassroots level customer. Podi chillera kadetai redi mahane ekkenata ඒවට තමයි microfunding. Microfinance is giving funding, giving insurances, and giving education and savings. Lending, insurance, savings, and non-financial value additions to the customer. That is called microfinancing. How we do? This is the group financing method. We create groups. Bank will lend to them 50K each. Guarantee his 50K will be guaranteed by these two. His 50K will be guaranteed by these two. His 50K will be guaranteed by these two. This kind of guarantees are called inter-C guarantees. It is there in the handout. Inter-C guarantee. Tundena ekkahuwala guarantee karaganna. That is called inter-C guarantee. If one person does not pay, other two has to pay his rental and collect subsequently. Bank needs all three's money, right? So if inter-C guarantees, other two parties are giving the guarantee on repayment. Inter-C guarantee, this one. Right? You have details about these products at the last part of the handout. Right? You can look at it. I explain all these things. You just can look. Right. Is there any clarifications to be done before I finish the class for today? So what we discussed today is international trade and local trade, confirm payment, which is the letter of credit, which is a conditional agreement to pay, but bank is liable for the payment. Whereas documentary collection, bank is not liable, bank will be acting as a post box. Right? If the customer pays, we will send, otherwise we will not do. Then we discuss about the bank guarantee types, different guarantees we have. Then we discuss about asset financing, that is leasing, financial leases and operational leases. Then we discuss about loan syndication. PF we have discussed earlier. Then PF, then we discuss about the microfinance. Ritma, thank you. I missed this one. Explain the open account. Open accounts are the third portion of the handout, which is this one, right? Affiliated. We know the party outside. We don't want any contract and we don't want any payment confirmation. Right? It's like this. We have Saranamuttu here, Pereira here. Okay. Documents comes here, goods. Goods comes here. Documents comes here. SBI and Bank of Ceylon does not get involved. Sarvanamuttu shifts the goods to Mr. Pereira's name and the documents are couriered to Mr. Pereira. Right? Then, when Mr. Pereira wants to send money, he comes to the bank. Only the money transfer happens through the bank. There is no protection, there is no guarantee on this document. But goods උත්තාවට පස්සේ goods ටික ඇවිල්ලා documents උත්තාවට පස්සේ Mr. Pereira පුළුවන් මේ ටික අරගෙන සල්ලි ආවන්නෙම නැතුව ඉන්න. Open account, there is no relation to the Bank of Ceylon to State Bank of India. Bank is not even a post box. Document does not route through the banks. Goods comes to the customs and documents are couriered to Mr. Pereira. When the money needs to be transferred, remitted, they come to the bank. That's called open account. Right? Anything else? Anything else for you? Okay, then that's it for today. Next week, we will discuss what are the type of securities we have and classification and categorization of securities. Thank you.